Okay, hello guys. Hope you can hear us. You can see us. Let us know again, please. Just confirm it in the chat, and we'll dive in.
Ready.
Okay. I think we should be. Let's. Yeah, clearly. Okay. Hey, thank you, Chaitanya. By the way, hello. Hey everyone. Pretty excited about another live stream today without Ken, but we are going to have for you a video from him, which is going to be uploaded right after the live stream with his analysis, so you can analyze charts with us, and then either tomorrow morning or even today, you can take a look at and watch the Ken's analysis. Yeah, he's in Malaysia, enjoying some time, on holiday, so. He's not going to be joining us today. Maybe on Wednesday, I don't know, but not today. I don't think so. So before we dive in, let me probably share the screen because there's a lot of what we can talk, and it's too bad Ken is not here because the economic calendar is just full. We've got the FOMC interest rate decision, Bank of Canada rate decision, Bank of Japan rate decision. Beside that, we also have the GDP from US, from EU, Australia, which I'm going to talk to you guys about in a few moments, the CPI. So yeah, there's economic calendar is full. So too bad that Ken is not here. Too bad. Hey, go
It's
like,
going to be
yeah,
a crazy week.
Yeah, it's going to be very volatile. At the same time, me as a fundamental analyst, it's kind of very surprising last few weeks because of the tariffs. I mean, if inflation fades, if GDP fades, unemployment rate, everything fades, and the central bank doesn't act accordingly just because of tariffs, it's really, really weird period. Do you ever have live Zoom calls? No, actually, we only go live on YouTube. So let me start with sharing the economic calendar. So let me see. Should be this one. I need to double check. Let me know, please, Angel, if you can see my
Everything
screen.
is
Can
clear.
you? Okay, perfect. So we'll start with the economic calendar. And just for those of you who will be already asking, probably the giveaway, as every Monday, is still on. Very surprised from last week because we had already 2 traders, and I was hoping for that happen to traders get some payouts already because we gave away a lot of accounts on those live streams. A lot of traders actually succeed and passed the free giveaway, but last week I was messaged by two traders who not only get to simulated funded stage, but also got the payouts. So congratulations. I hope someone from those 2 guys is in the chat. But the first one already requested a payout, I think $250, which is on a $5,000 account. That's a 5% profit. And the second one, I don't want to be wrong, so I'm going to just take a look real quick. And the second guy did $617 profit on a 5K account, which is more than 10% in a single day, trading the USD Japanese yen, which I'm going to talk to you guys about today as well. So yeah,
it's wonderful.
Really, really amazing. I'm going to do one more live stream session on Thursday, the account review. So this was just like a trailer for you guys. So if you want to see how they did it, we're going to analyze them on
Jake,
Thursday.
when you have the chance, can you explain a little bit about the giveaway? There are like those guys that doesn't know how it works. They are asking in the chat as well.
Yeah, so basically, it's for the people who usually participate in our live stream. So the only thing you need to do is we have live streams twice, sometimes 3 times a week. If you're watching us, if you are if you're participating in the chat, just analyzing charts with us, trading with us, generally speaking, we notice you, we see familiar faces, and then at the very end of the live stream, when the recording is uploaded on the YouTube channel, then we in the comments include the winners of the giveaway. So after the live stream today ends, go to the comments of this video and you'll find a list of people who won the giveaway. So yeah, pretty easy. We were doing polls on Instagram, but then it gets a little bit complicated. And on YouTube, I think this is very easy. Just
Yeah,
participate,
you just
analyze
have to
with
join.
us. Yeah, that's probably all. uh, Views about gold. Yeah, we're going to talk about gold as well. At least I will. And then also Angel at the very end will provide you with an analysis for indexes. Because as you know, I don't
Sir.
trade indexes. So at least without Ken, we have another trader who does. I would like to win. Okay. So about the calendar, as I was saying, this week, we're pretty much full. Today and tomorrow, we're starting very slow, except the GDP from Spain and the George Job openings, which I believe won't do any volatility on the market. We have nothing to be scared about. But then on Wednesday, the first news, the Australian inflation data, very important. And if you remember from the last live streams, we were talking about it with Ken because we are trading, at least me, is my favorite pair, the Euro Australian dollar. Basically, any Australian dollar pair, as I like to short Australian dollar. But we are going to have inflation rates. On the last RBA decision, the Bollock says that we are not going to deliver the rate cut. Very unexpected because the unemployment rate went to, if I'm not mistaken, 4.3% from 4.1. And for cutting the rates, what we need is higher unemployment and lower inflation. So the inflation is pretty low. We stand at 2.4, and the unemployment rate is 4.3, pretty high. So if the inflation data are going to go as consensus suggests, which is 2.2 on annual basis and quarterly to zero point 0.8, I think even lower, I think that the Australian dollar will be bearish again. Very, very short about that. On the other side, if the inflation rate is going to take a little bit up, so 0.1%, or even remain the same at 2.4, then I'll probably just stay away from Australian. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that actually Australian CPI will print lower at 2.2, if not even lower than that. And that would be signal for the bullocks to actually deliver the rate cut. And when the central bank is delivering the rate cut, we see the currency getting weaker and weaker. Okay, I'll probably go to you analyze the Euro Australian dollar and other Australian dollar pairs. Just let me check the chat really quickly. Gold is linked to for sure. Yeah, it's a commodity-based currency. Trade gold. Yeah, FX so much. Ken is in Malaysia on holiday. So let me just now really quickly go to charts and share my perspective on Australian dollar, what might happen in upcoming week. So
Sure.
where is
Those
my
are
chart?
those are really interesting numbers. So we might see movements during the
Yeah,
days, and we're expecting the data to come in.
yeah. At least me, I'm expecting that the inflation will go down, which will be, as I was saying, a signal for RBA to deliver the rate cut. Because then I don't know what Bullocks might say, but the last decision from RBA was a complete mess. They should deliver the rate cut, they did not. And if when they did not, we saw Australian dollar got pretty bullish. This was the correction, kind of volatile. Right
Yeah.
now, we are heading south, but 1.77 support still holds. So I would just, if I'd be you, if you trade your Australian dollar or any Australian dollar, mark Wednesday morning in Europe, the CPI from Australia. If it's going to be lower, we're going to go and we're going to follow on the uptrend because structure is still very bullish. The same goes for other Australian pairs. And one of the things that I wanted to mention on especially Euro Australian dollar, because this week we also have news from Europe. We've got the unemployment rate, we've got the GDP and inflation. All three, at least the inflation and GDP, suggest that the euro might get hurt a little bit. We can see it on the index since the very morning, since the very Monday, we are being very bearish on euro. So as for this moment, at least for this week, because I want to wait for the European data, I would rather, if the inflation comes down, I would rather go long on pound than Australian dollar. So just change the currency. As I was saying, if you are seeing one currency being vulnerable, or in this case, both euro and Australian dollar, then just find something stronger. And last time I said it, the euro and the pound still two strongest currencies. So I'll go for a pound. So pound, Australian dollar. This would be my second choice. Basically, we also bouncing. I would say probably this zone still holds. I'll see what's going to be the close of today's candle. At the same time, the pound doesn't have any significant events on the calendar for this week. So it's safer option to go with a pound or my favorite, which is Swiss franc, that I've never sold, and I probably lost the least money on the Swiss franc. So again, if Australian CPI goes lower than expected, or even what expected, which is 2.2, I'll be probably selling the Australian dollar Swiss franc or buying the pound Australian dollar. Let me see if there are any questions about that. Yes, Jake took some longs on GU. Okay. You can also long your Australian. I'm going to talk about Euro USD, which is very interesting. And I think the most of the euro weaknesses comes from tariffs, because I don't know if you watch news, guys, but basically the tariffs war between Europe and US escalated a little bit. So this might be probably the trigger for euro bears. I don't think for now. I don't want you to get me wrong. For now, I'm not bearish on euro. I just wanna just stay neutral for this week, as we've got those important fundamentals from Europe. But then once I have the data, I'll probably get back if it's not going to be as bad as expected. So anything Euro Australian dollar looks strong. Yeah, Australian dollar Swiss franc right now. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I actually do. So if you take a look at daily, that's a very bearish trend. And if you go to lower time frames, what Ken would love actually, speaking about him, is some sort of a probably some sort of a just channel or flag, what he calls it. So I'm pretty sure if inflation is lower what's expected, or at least hits the consensus, we're going to break down. So yeah, just a flag to remind Ken as he's not here. I don't have much of analysis on Australian dollar Swiss franc, as this pair or any Swiss franc pair is for me just an alternative. When I don't have a strong currency against vulnerable currency, I go to Swiss franc. So okay, so that's an Australian dollar. As I was saying, I'd keep my hands out of the Euro Australian dollar because it's a little bit mess. We are still in the uptrend structure, still higher lows. We'll see what today's day is going to close at, but still kind of uptrend for me. Even though we broke this trend line, I don't think it matters as much as the structure. So that's the Euro Australian dollar. Let's go back to the calendar. What else going to be happening this week? Also, by the way, guys, I'm going to remind it again. I'm going to probably show it to you, which is, and I'll said it so many times, which is, I don't know if you can see it, which is financial juice. Again, we are not sponsored, but this is really one of the apps that you should keep in your phone, because whatever fundamental it is, whatever event or data release it is, financial juice also notifies you in about 3 to 5 minutes after, or maybe sometimes even sooner, when the event or the data release is actually released, and you then can see what was the actual data print, what was the forecast, what was the previous data, what were the previous data. And at the same time, when there's some sort of a event like a Powell speech, which is going to happen, the press conference after Fed interest rate decision this week on Wednesday, it updates you, so you don't have to watch it live. You can go to YouTube and you can watch the entire press conference live, but then you can also do it simply with the financial juice, just reading the points, the most important points from that press conference, and decide whatever you want to trade based on those informations. Google, it's financial juice. Yeah, it's financial juice. Just as people are spamming in the chat. Okay, so we stopped at Australian dollar. What we've got next is a couple of data from Europe, French GDP, important, and German GDP. But then 10 a.m. you've got European GDP. What I'm afraid about, that's why I said I'm going to be keeping my hands out of the euro Australian dollar, is the GDP and inflation from Europe. The GDP on quarterly basis is about to drop to zero, and on annually it's about to go to 1.2 from 1.5. So this is a little bit disturbing in my view. It's still flash, but it is what it is. If it goes actually to 0%, I might be a little bit cautious about the euro. At the same time, if I go down to Friday, so mark Wednesday for GDP in your calendar, and then Friday for inflation data, which are about to fall again from 2 to 1.9, and and core from 2.3 to 2.2. That's why I'm cautious about euro, because if that actually happens, I might see some signs from ECB regarding another rate cuts. I don't think it's necessary because of the tariffs, which still might convince the ECB board to keep the hawkish decision and leave the rate unchanged. But as we fall even deeper on the inflation and on the GDP, I'm afraid that's one of the options that might happen in the future. So yeah, I'll just wait for the releases. And with that, I'll probably go to analyze the Euro USD. Let me just check if I've missed something on Wednesday. So Australian dollar, the GDP from Europe, and also we've got GDP from US, which are also about to advance GDP, but they're looking pretty good. Didn't even see that from 0.5 to 2.4. Okay, that might be actually bullish for the US and for the dollar. And last but not least, we've got Bank of Canada interest rate decision and the FOMC. So Bank of Canada, what I think is going to happen, because these guys were cutting rates like mad earlier this year. So I don't think they're going to do it again. If I'm not mistaken, the inflation in Canada is at 3.1. So it's not under the control fully, which I think we're going to have another hold, which is 2.75. In my view, Canadian dollar might get a little bit weaker on it. Yeah, that's probably what I have to say about Bank of Canada rate decision. In my view, a little bit weaker, but I wouldn't expect any major changes on that interest rate decision. And then the Fed. What's important about the Fed is not the interest rate decision, because we are not going to be cutting rates. What's important is what are going to be said on that press conference. That's why I told you to watch at least Financial Juice. If you're not going to watch the entire press conference, go to Financial Juice, because what's going to be said by Jerome Powell on that press conference is going to be crucial. We've got one rate cut in September, and what I think is going to be important is going to be the tone. So if we have only one rate cut in September, that's pretty hawkish, I would say. And if we have 2 rate cuts this year, I think there might be a signal for bearish dollar. How you can tell whenever we are going to have hawkish or dovish, or how many rate cuts are we having, is on Fed Watch tool. I'm going to include the link in the chat for you guys. And basically, this is the Fed Watch tool. I mean, Ken probably showed it to you a couple of times. I'm going to send it to chat so I don't forget. How does it work? So basically, this tells you what's the chance of the Fed delivering the rate cut or keeping the rates unchanged. So for the July meeting, which is this Wednesday, it's a probability of 97%, almost 98%, that we are keeping rates unchanged. But then September, there's a 63% probability that we are going to have a rate cut from Fed, which is pretty high. Market is already expecting it. Then October, keeping the rates unchanged. So if the chances after the press conference on Wednesday go even higher here on the rate cut, we will see probably a little bit weaker US dollar. At the same time, if one of those 2 months, October or December, will project a higher chance for another, so second this year, rate cut, then I'll be worrying about the dollar bulls. So yeah, I forgot to check it on chat a little bit. So let me just go back. Have you seen something that I should note in the chat, Angel?
No, actually, they are just claiming for you to take a look to DXY because it's really
Okay.
interesting based on the numbers that you're giving right now. So now they want to see, charts.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to charts. That's going to be probably for you guys more interesting than just watching the economic
Now,
calendar.
numbers
The
are
Fed Watch
important
tool.
as well.
Yeah, they are. They are, especially this week. I mean, we've got a lot on economic calendar, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up so everyone can mark it in its calendar. Share the screen. Let's do the charts. Basically, I don't do Dixie. I have not analyzed Dixie at all. I've got those custom indexes that I talk about almost on every live stream, but we've got pretty strong dollar at this moment. I don't know if I think Ken does some sort of a technical analysis, which would actually kind of fit what's happening right now, because we are in the zone where the price bounced a lot of times, kind of hard to either break or below or above. So I think at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, Ken was suggesting that we are in some sort of a downtrend, which was broken above, but then the US situation right now is unclear whenever we are going to have the strong dollar. So I think from what I know when I spoke to him is if we're going to create a new high, might be a suggestion that we are actually reversing on this very downtrend on a Dixie and reversing towards the uptrend. But then we still got this zone to break above. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. All eyes are on the FOMC and then Fed press conference. The rate decision is important, as I said. The power is important, what he's going to be talking about. So till that, I won't be probably trading any dollar pairs. Yeah, we can take a look at Euro USD. Basically, what we thought that we are going to at least hit 1.8 on the last live stream. We were again short how many pips? Yeah, we were short about 12 pips from that. Nevertheless, Euro USD still bullish, but as I was saying, the euro is about to get some negative data this week. So I wouldn't have nothing in as creating new lower low on this. I don't know if that counts as a double top, guys. You can tell me, because technical patterns are not my thing. But with that bearish momentum on Mondays, which is usually like the slowest day of the week, having lost 1.3 on Euro USD is crazy. So if this persists and we create new lower low, then probably what we need to wait for, and again, it will be depending on the FOMC and data from Europe, create new high low, then we can probably, if we want to sell, that we can do on 1.165. But I wouldn't be really sure about that. Yeah, just because of the fundamentals of this week. What about you guys? Are you taking longs? Are you taking shorts on the euro and US dollar?
I
Yes,
believe that when the
Chadanya.
market is in that like a gray space where you don't know what is going to happen next and you're waiting for that data, it's
Mhm.
the best option just to wait for the data to paint a clear view to see what we can expect. So that's how we avoid losses and we take like the best setups. That's when the asset is just uncertain based on data pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. Chad is saying the same. News data waiting, which is the best option what we can do now. I mean, yeah, if you took a look at the economic calendar, there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's why I'm turning to Australian dollars, Swiss franc, because once we have the CPI from Australia, then there's not much from Swiss franc. I mean, we have economic index uh, from Switzerland and retail sales, nothing that would affect markets. So yeah, probably can turn to gold, but then gold is quoted to dollars. So what you want to do? And again, rates pretty much then also affect indexes. So Jake, do you trade Japanese pairs? Not much. If I would go short on Japanese yen. Basically, the 50% Fibonacci on last live stream were somewhere here. I'm going to zoom, and I told you guys you can go back and watch it. That the possibility of bouncing from the zone that fits on 50% Fibonacci is very high. And if that wasn't enough, then the one of the traders that I'm going to review on Thursday, the one who made $600 on the giveaway account, actually bought it. So he was buying somewhere here with the bounce, and he made really good, nice profits. So yeah, on this pair, on the USD Japanese yen, kind of long. Generally speaking, even though we have the Bank of Japan rate decision this week, I don't think it will somehow wake up the Japanese yen. For me, Japanese yen is still very bearish, and it's going to remain bearish because there's not much what these guys can do about it. So the data doesn't just fit the rate hikes. I mean, a few months ago, they were talking about, yeah, we're going to raise the rates again, but now the data doesn't fit, so they're not going to do it. They need to wait for the data. And that being said, the Japanese yen just losing. I mean, let me just take a look at the index of Japanese yen. Yeah, you can see it for yourself. I mean, who would buy that? Like, this is on a 4-hour time frame. This is really strong bearish trend on the Japanese index. I don't do technical analysis on these indexes, but again, we can remind uh, Ken's favorite channels. So yeah, I think what's going to happen with the Japanese yen is continuing towards the down, towards the south. So if I'd be trading, I would be selling. Not a financial advice, guys, but I haven't bought Japanese yen in a couple of months. This year, I don't think so. I did. Yeah, can flag massively bearish. That's true. 30th of July, yeah, Bank of Japan. We've got a rate decision. I'm going to show it to you on the calendar. How long have you traded Swiss pass? Yeah, basically Swiss franc is my safe option. I used to trade before I started trading prop firm accounts. I used to trade my own accounts and investors, and I was basically just focusing on the exotic currencies like SEK, which is Swedish krona, Polish zloty, Czech crown, like currencies you probably never heard of. And I was trading these currencies, holding them for months. But then as I get to the prop firm trading, most of the prop firms, they don't offer those exotic currencies. So I said Swiss franc is the perfect option. It does not have economic indicators that would basically just on weekly basis interrupt the trend of that currency. Switzerland, as the economy, as its banking system, where it stands in the world, it's very solid. So yeah, when I don't have a currency that I trust, that I want to buy against a currency that I see vulnerable, I'll just go with the Swiss franc. You guys always good give good signals. Thank you for that. I've heard of krona. Yeah, a lot of countries have actually krona. And the gold. Okay, didn't check gold to be honest with you guys today. Didn't check gold. Let me see. Oh damn, we break the. Okay, we break below that trend line. That's interesting. Okay, that's just based on the uh, dollar bulls now. Very interesting. I'm not going to keep that trend line as it is not important at this point. Doesn't change my perspective. I've got this level of 3.3, which should be the nearest support. So we'll see how the gold will react here, but doesn't change somehow my position on gold. Still, gold is mostly influenced by happenings in the world, crises, wars, uh, just basically what's happening. And with all of it, tariffs, got a couple of wars, the new one were in Vietnam. No, sorry, was it Thailand? Somewhere in Asia, a new war erupted. So also going to affect the markets. Then you've got Israelis, Palestine, you've got Russia, Ukraine, you've got so much happening in the world that I don't think that gold is going to take it lightly. So I'm still bullish on gold. Didn't, to be honest, didn't expect Thailand, Colombia, yeah, Thailand, Cambodia. Yeah, actually, thank you so much, Google Look. Those two just recently heard. So yeah, I don't think that this downtrend on the gold is going to be somehow long term. Let's see what are other levels. So we've got this 3.3. Let me take another horizontal ray. And if 3.3 doesn't hold, then I think 3.22 could be another level. Not going to take a short on this, most likely. Again, when something happens on the dollar on a Wednesday, FOMC and Powell, or the GDP, then the gold is going to react as it is quoted to the dollar. So bullish on gold. Gold would probably range tomorrow. Yeah, might be happening. That might be happening. Are you still bullish on gold? Yeah, I am. Yes, Jay this week fully packed with the news. Yeah, I'm usually packed with the news. Yeah, and the thing is, guys, that I don't like to explain the fundamental analysis. That's why I leave it to Can, because I don't think I'm good at it. I'm good when I'm speaking to someone who understands fundamental analysis. Like when we get to the patterns of what triggers the low inflation with high unemployment rate, or then when we talk about retail sales, the consumer sentiment, and so on. But that's why I'm leaving usually Can to speak. Jake, you currently trade profit? Yeah, I do. Are you Italian origin? I caught your accent. No, I'm not Italian. I'm actually Central European. So we was close, by the way, but not Italian. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's see what's on the calendar for this week, because we've got way more to talk about than just this. So I'll keep the charts up, so you guys can watch something till I got another fundament. We've got inflation. I mentioned it from Europe. We've talked about the unemployment rate from Europe, and that should be about it. Also, if the Wednesday is not enough, just realize it. The FOMC and the Powell press conference on Thursday, additional volatility, and I don't think this is going to trigger just a little bit of volatility. I think that's going to be volatile as well because it plays a pivotal role. We've got core PCE index at 1:30 p.m. and personal income, personal spending. So consumer data and the PCE index, which is the most watched tool for the Fed when they're deciding on their interest rates. This is the tool that they use for inflation data. It's on monthly basis as well as personal income, personal spending. Personal income and personal spending should go up, which is not good for inflation. So if that's actually the case, and you can again mark it in the calendar 1:30 p.m. UK time, if you actually see personal income go up as well as personal spending, this might mean that the inflation may tick up a little bit alongside with the retail sales, which I think are next week. But yeah, this will be the early signs of inflation going down because core PC index is about to stick from zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.3. So again, if we get higher inflation prediction, the Fed might hold on the rate cuts after the September. I think the September is pretty much done. Watch the Fed Watch tool, and whenever you see the chances for the second rate cut from now till the very end of the year getting higher, you will see US dollar being very vulnerable, being very bearish. And outside of it, we've got manufacturing PMIs from China and Friday non-farm payrolls, which are going to be again important. But we about to go from 170 or 47k to 110k. That could be another hit for US. We'll see. too many data to cover, actually, guys. So
Indeed.
as for now, I'll cover more on Wednesday because on Wednesday's live stream session we are going to have the FOMC, so we might trade it live because it starts at 7 p.m., which is about 30 minutes, so it might take a little bit longer, but we can take a look at it. Till that happens, I'll be just cautioned about the Australian CPI and the GDP from Europe and from United States, as it might trigger some bearish momentum on euro pairs. That's why I'm leaving the Euro Australian dollar just for this week.
I'm pretty sure that by Wednesday we should have like better price action in the entire market, like in general.
Yeah,
it'll be like more cleaner and just starting the week and getting ready for all that data to release. But yeah,
can't really see something that I would gladly trade outside the GBP Australian dollar and the Australian dollar Swiss franc. Those two currencies are right now like I'm just watching if there's going to be some sort of a setup. I think as a swing trader, not a financial advice, swing trader, I guarantee if I would be selling right now and targeting, I might be targeting new low lows here with maybe even a little bit lower. On the next live stream next Monday, we are going to be lower. So yeah, but wait till Wednesday at least. Wait till Wednesday. So yes, Euro GBP. If you got guys any other pairs that you would like to talk me about, then just write them into chat. So Euro GBP. Right now, I think it's the best time because if Europe is going to deliver actually weak data, I think the Euro GBP might reverse down because for a couple of weeks, me and Ken, we were saying that Euro is somehow stronger than pound, at least in last couple of weeks. But now, as we are going to get the low inflation print, the tariff war between Europe and US, which escalated, and lower GDP, I think we are about to reverse here. So if I'd be trading it, I wouldn't be against because we break above, then we break below the level of 0.87. But if I'd be trading it and the European data show up to be poor as I'm expecting them to be, this level doesn't look bad at all. if we again drag the Fibonacci retracement, we've got 50, pretty close to that level. So, I mean, the zone doesn't look bad. But I would be, if you'd ask me, I'd be right now short, even though we've got this bullish trend, which I don't like to actually trade to like the other side. I think we are on the brink of the reversal. Looks bullish, yeah, looks bullish. That's why I'm like being very cautious. I don't want to trade it because the structure would again like remind me. Where's the drawing tool? Yeah, Ken would remind me this is we printing new higher lows. So till we break this low probably or this low, we should not be bearish on Euro GBP. But with that bearish momentum and with the projection for the upcoming data, yeah. And the trend is your friend, Jake. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We should probably wait till we break this zone, this one. Yeah.
This one looks really interesting with the data that you just mentioned. So yeah, pretty much keeping an eye on this pair for the rest of the week.
Yeah, actually, that's a good advice. Okay, so trends mutual friends with everyone. Okay, I think because someone asked, does I'm late on Angel insights on the indexes? No, mate, you're not late. Angel is about to deliver his analysis, so I think we can do it right now. I'll just go check the chat if there's something else that I can analyze, and if you want to, I can pass the mic to you and you can analyze the indexes because
Yeah, of course,
this is something I don't trade. I'll just stop the.
Let's see what the guys are saying. Yeah, so shall I just hope to start here?
Yeah, Adam Elderly, actually, you're correct. I'm from Czech, and just so you know, I'm not like practicing the UK accent because a lot of people that we cooperate are from UK. So when you speak to them on daily basis, it's impossible to not catch it. So, yeah, but you'll land it on the second. Okay, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. That's awesome. All right, so for indices, we don't have much. We're still into like the same water because we're just trading higher and higher with this uptrend. So right now we just open with a big gap through the week, right, which is this gap. So right now I'm watching how this is going to deliver from this gap, right? I think we're actually on the 50% of that gap as well. So what I will want to see from here in NASDAQ, I know we have like the data on Wednesday and we have more data coming in tomorrow. So you got to be cautious to what you're looking to trade, right? You better take like the best trades, the best setups possible. So right now we're still here. If we look this with the Fibonacci here, let me just use the Fibonacci real quick. We are right now on the 50% of this leg. So right now, again, I'm looking for new highs. All right, I'll be looking for new highs across NASDAQ. So this is really interesting. I was looking for longs early this morning. The setup didn't present itself. So pretty much it's still the same, at least for this view. If we break below this area, so then is where I'm going to start looking for sells, maybe on this range again. And if we go to the weekly time frame, we might see some sort of like a deeper retracement into this gap from here, right? But pretty much sitting to where we are right now. This is still, I'm still looking for longs and longs. So that's Nasdaq right now. If we go to, let's go to US30 real quick. US30 is pretty much the same. We just broke all-time highs, right? And we have the data coming in on Wednesday, so it's gonna tell a lot, right? On these weeks like this, you better always wait for the best price action to come, and let's just jump in as soon as you see a setup, because you gotta play safely, right? So this one is pretty much the same. If we use some sort of a Fibonacci from here to here on US30, so we're still trending between the 62% and the 70% retracement. So again, I'm gonna be looking for the price to consolidate from here and then look for higher prices. If this low fails to deliver a new high, then I'll be looking for short until Nasdaq reaches the two ranges that I just mentioned, which is going to be this one and the weekly gap, right? So again, we're just waiting for the news, pretty much looking for longs. So I'm pretty sure on Wednesday, we're going to have like a cleanest price action, a better setups. You know, it's going to be better right now. We're just starting the week. We also had this gap on the opening weekly candle. Yep.
I just wanted to ask, I saw that you on the Fibonacci retracement, you are using 50,
yeah,
and then 62, and then 73.
I use a little bit different levels. I know the normal levels are just 50, 62. Yep. So pretty much I don't use the 79. I always use, if you ask me, I always use is the 50 and the 70. Right?
So yeah, like
so
this range.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
okay.
The 70 is pretty much the optimal trade entry, OTE. That's pretty much an ICT concept. And the 50% is something that I like a lot, because I'm noticing that when we are running aggressively in one direction and the price retraces, it's pretty much going to retrace until the 50% of the leg and then keep going higher. So if you can match that 50% retracement with the gap, support and resistance, the VWAP, moving average, whatever you're trading at, and you know that you're going into one direction, it's really nice to see, you know, the retracement reaching that point and then creating that new high, at least here on an uptrend, right? So yeah, that's the sort of the levels that I use, if you guys are interested. So pretty much it's always the 70% and the 50% of the leg.
Andrew, which weekend of flag versus gap strong confluence?
Yeah, pretty much an FVG, a fair value gap, is pretty much a gap. So I always just mark them with the higher time frame, because I know prices are going to deliver from there. So right now we have this weekly gap here, right? This is 3 candle patterns where the wicks of the candle from the left and the candle from the right does not touch each other. So this is an imbalance between buyers and sellers. So pretty much you'll see Nasdaq trading away from these gaps on the price, as we did last week on this daily gap here, which is what happened last week, right? So right now we are just looking to this movement from this gap. Price is just trading higher until when? We don't know, until actually H4, H1 start to give some sort of a structure to look for sells, you know, which pretty much will happen. How do I look for sells here? Of course, it's risky because we're trading all-time highs. So you're not trying to pick a top. You're always interested on getting the retracement to keep going higher. But let's see, we take this high, right? And then we take that low that takes the high. So if this movement from here to here leads a gap, such as the one that I just showed you here on the daily time frame or from the weekly time frame, then pretty much I'll be looking for sells for such price, right? Of course, it has to be like the right time. It has to meet certain criteria for me to take that trade. But that's pretty much the gap question.
Okay. There was one more question. Does Angel confirm trend on HDF, like higher time frames?
Yeah, I'm always basing my analysis and the bias on the higher time frame, because the narrative from the higher time frame is always going to be important. I'm not saying that because I'm bullish on the daily time frame, I'm not going to take a sell if the setup presents itself. If I have everything I need to take a sell, even if I'm bullish on a higher time frame, I'm going to take that trade, right? The thing is, until when or where you're going to take that trade. What's your target? That's the most important thing when you're trading on counter trend. In this case, selling the indices on all-time highs.
Okay. That was interesting because you were talking about the ICT strategy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys, any of you guys trade ICT strategies in the chat? Analysis is clearly key at all time. Yeah. I would be really interested in it because, as I was saying, I was getting into completely different trading, from trading exotic pairs, holding them for 3 months, to prop firm trading, trying to be now scalper, because as we figured out on our last live stream, that most of the traders that are being successful with E8 are scalpers. And I'm going to talk about it on another account review, which is going to be published on the Market YouTube channel. But basically, yeah, all of them, like 70% of people, of traders who were successful with E8, like getting consistent payouts, were scalpers. So, and the ICG or ICT, as I'm looking at the chat, ICT, right?
Yeah.
This is a day trading strategy, isn't it? Or is it the
I
scalping?
mean, there are a lot of concepts and models that you can use from like a hard time frame. So you can use long-term trading, you can use swing trading, day trading, scalping. I do day trading a lot because I trade with the sessions. I think it's pretty useful for indices right now. But you can do actually long-term trading. You can swing trade. I mean, it requires a lot of patience to hold a trade for 3 months, as you just mentioned it. I mean, I would just delete like the trading platform and just not look at it, right? I'm not even watching Trading View. It's hard for me just to see those numbers moving on the P&L, and then, not trying to manage my position. But yeah.
Okay. Someone is asking if you scalper because you trade 45-minute window, right? So
I will say some sort of scalping, but it's more like a day trading, because I'm just trading whatever the setup is presented during the day. So that's going to be my trade for today. So the next day is going to be a different, and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah, just checking. Jake, you told you will bring S&P trader. Yeah, I actually reached out to that guy. I didn't promise you that. I told you on the live stream that I'll try to bring some indexes trader who are very good at what they do, which is scalping indexes. But it's hard to get them on the account review interview because sometimes those people are from the Germany, not speaking English well, or the other side of the world, and the time zone is completely messed. So yeah, I'll try to do that, guys. But so far, also wanted to do some content about strategies. So if you guys have any strategies that you right now exploring, you know about, you don't understand, you can also please leave it in the chat, as I'm also diving more into day trading. So I would love to just take a look. I'll most definitely take a look at the ICT strategy. There was one more strategy that somehow or someone mentioned that is on indexes. Are there any? Do you know about any like famous strategies like the ICT that is straight on the indexes?
I mean, there are a lot. Like everyone here in the market is some sort of an artist, and it's funny
Mm.
because everyone can make it work on like their own way. That's why you trade support and resistance, can trade patterns with these wedges. You know what I mean? So you can
Hmm.
make it work with whatever the strategy you're using. Of course, let's say you give 5 different traders the same strategy, the same plan, and the same rules in the same house for a week, and I'm pretty sure not everyone is going to make it with that same strategy. That's
Yeah.
why, you know, it's not the strategies are different, and maybe some are from for a few traders, some are not. So you just gotta
Hmm.
find, what
Yeah.
matches your personality, what matches the way you like to see the market, and of course, what you see it works. You know,
Yeah, it's kind of funny, and that's a good point actually. That if we just give right now to traders a strategy that works, I mean, everyone would execute differently, even though we would give them some sort of a plan. And it's funny
yep.
because we were with Joel talking about the traders, unexperienced traders, given the turtle strategy. I don't know if you have ever heard about turtle strategy. It's
No,
basically
I
it was
don't.
experiment long time ago where traders bet that the one trader can teach regular people to trade on financial markets, and they just gave them the strategy and they did really really good. So and
Well,
those
that's
were just
interesting.
following the plan, yeah. But if you just give a trader who has already some experience, he would definitely try the strategy differently, just because you add something that's yours in it all the time, just not following it.
So
I
even
think.
if you're actually learning from someone else, that's gonna give you
Mhm.
like the footprints. At the end of the day, you're always going to add like your own opinion and your own thoughts based on that plan. So if we give 5 traders the same strategy, it can happen that those 5 traders may execute different trades, different
Yeah,
directions in the same session.
yeah.
So that's pretty much.
That's,
Someone is asking on the chat about BWAPs. Those are really good as well. There's a
what is
strategy
it?
with BWAP. The BWAP is some sort of moving average. Pretty much you
Okay.
can use it like a moving average because you can trade like with the trend, or you can trade like breakouts from the BWAP. It's really interesting. I know a friend of mine who trades with BWAP, and he is really successful. And
Mm.
sometimes we're trading like the same direction, and of course, I'm trading my way, and he's trading with BWAP. So yeah,
Okay, good deal. Whoa. Okay. Really appreciate it, guys. I see a lot of ideas for the content we can do. It would be great to learn more strategies, because then I would like to also try them live. Uh, because as you can see, you can't implement like swing trading strategy on the live streams. You're waiting for the signal. You open 1-2 trades per week, and then you hold for another 2-3 weeks. So WeWeb, it might be good. Hearing of WeWeb for the first time for US 30. Yeah. So your view on Euro USD? We already did Euro USD, so you can take a look if you go about 30 minutes back, but basically kind of stay neutral. Okay. So do you have any other indexes that or did you analyze all of them?
I did actually my
Yeah.
chart. It's pretty much the same thing. I already
Okay.
discussed that I was looking for longs until we break the low, and then we fill the gap, and then I'll be looking for sells. But it's pretty much the same. It doesn't really shows much because, as I said, we're still waiting on the data on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much going to give us some sort of waiting game to actually take the right trades for the week.
Yeah. Someone asked, mate, as M8, the number, as Jake and Angela, what do you think about popular indicators like RSI, MACD? So basically, I was trying for like 10 years to find a system on indicators. Since 17, when I started analyzing markets, I was looking for indicator that would make me rich. Didn't find it. I've tried a lot of things, guys. Didn't actually succeed with it. You have strategies like the very simple ones with exponential moving averages. I can show you on a chart. Let me see. I can share charts for a sec,
Yeah, you
and
can
I'll
share the
show you
charts.
what
Check.
I'm talking about. So basically, what is it? This is Euro Japanese yen indicators. I was trying strategies like exponential moving average and bringing actually both, one on inputs, one's going on a high, and the second one is going 50 on low. And basically this is a trend. It's called in Czech, translated to English, I don't know if it's that called in English, but it's called letter 50. And whenever it touches the tunnel inside, you buy. So you find trading markets, and whenever the price hits the channel, you buy. But then I'm sorry, I didn't want to do that. But then you go to side trend, and what you're going to do here, right? You got so many misleading signals, and that's the thing about indicators. They're delayed, and at the same time, when you are having indicator that you're using when market is trending, then it's not going to work here. When you have stochastic, RSI indicators that are good in a side trends, then trend pops out and your account's going to be wiped. So if you find a strategy based on indicators, and I even learned how to code the automated systems just because I wanted to create some sort of a strategy based on indicators. But in decades, I haven't succeeded, guys. So yeah, that's the thing. Let me just check the. Have you? What about you, Angel? Have you find anything like simple strategy
Not
on
really. I
indicators?
mean, there are so many different indicators right now. BWAP is one of the indicators that right now are trending a lot. And also, it's just an indicator, right? And it's really useful. I've been using the BWAP myself, and it's good. I mean, it's for trending. It's really similar to moving average because you'll see the price trending like above or below the chart, so you pretty much have an idea where the price is trading. But no, not really. I haven't found myself like consistency on an indicator is not my type of trading. I know guys that can actually make the bread with the indicators. Of course, if you find the indicator that fits with your trading, with your strategy, and of course that's wonderful, right? That's all what we want. But yeah, pretty much for me is not on indicators.
I mean, a lot of indicators works on lower time frames, and that's basically what I found out in my decade of experience. The most successful traders are either those who just buy and hold or sell and hold. So the longer you go, the better. Or then the on lower time frame you go, the better. So it's either scalper trading seconds, minutes, or then position trader, swing trader trading weeks and months. I haven't seen much of a successful intraday traders like day traders, so that may be something on it. And I mean, if there's strategies on based on indicators, I bet, and they are successful, I bet they are for scalpers, because on intraday trading, never seen a person who would be very successful trading indicators on day trading. Indicators are nice, but they can't crystal ball the news.
Yeah, there are
Actually,
so many
that's another
indicators
thing.
that we don't even know how to use, and they're actually working for other traders. So that's the funny part about indicators. The thing is, what just Jake mentioned it about is always given or indicating based on all data. It's not what is happening right now. So that's going to be pretty much like the negative side of an indicator.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait a minute. All right. No, I was checking in the chat talking about indicators.
Yeah,
And
okay.
someone said that we're lagging. I'm not sure if we are lagging.
Do we?
You guys can confirm the chat.
Okay. Yeah, probably. Just wanna, Jay, from where you learned
Everyone
this,
wants
basically,
to know about your strategy. Pretty much.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that these data that I share with you, like about the successful traders, I just don't make them up. I work decade in financial industry. I work for brokers, fintechs, and prop firms. I didn't trade for them, just to be clear. I wasn't on trading floor. I worked for them on many different positions, whether it was marketing or business developer or whatever. But then you see the statistics whenever you work inside it, and trust me, I mean, most of the traders that are being successful are scalpers and long-term traders. For some reason, it is what it is, right? Now you log. No, we're not logging probably.
No, we're
Okay.
not. Yes, Holy. I do use SMT as Confluence.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I think we've discussed the important. So till Wednesday, you guys know what to watch for. On Wednesday, we'll see you again. I mean, is there something you would like to add, Angel, or any markets?
Oh no,
Or
I
you good
think
to
we're
go?
good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good to
So
go. It's been nice.
yeah, nice session. So thank you guys for showing up, even without a can. I think we handled pretty well. I'll try to work on the explanation of the news and economic indicators a little bit more. And I also really appreciate you sharing all the strategies. I mark them down. So in upcoming weeks, maybe months, I want to also focus a little bit on strategies, providing more strategies to traders, and also try to learn something new, because you should not stop evolving within the trading industry. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Angel, for your analysis.
Thanks to you,
Enjoy
Jake.
the week, and we'll see each other on Wednesday again. Take care. Best of luck trading.
Bye, guys.